All right, everybody, we are back for round 13 of RMFantasy SXperts. I am Chase.
I'm Christian.
Here for round 13.
Heading into Houston.
Round 12, it is over. Seattle, what'd you think? Recap it in one word for me, Christian.
I mean, it's controversy in my mind. A lot of
Controversy.
So we got to talk about it.
I think carnage.
Yeah, a lot of that
All
too.
right, well, let's get right into it. This is our race recap from Seattle. All right, Christian, Seattle, it's come and gone. We had super hard pack whoops, which nobody was expecting from
Yeah,
Seattle.
no mud, no rain.
No
Weird.
mud, no rain. So Seattle fans, they got a treat. Let's talk about results. Marvin Musquin does it again, second win in a row.
Officially.
Yeah, he still would have won, but still. I had him in first, so I'm stoked. Ken Rocks in second place, Eli Tomac third, Cooper Webb fourth, Savachi fifth, Dean Wilson, the other pick I got right, in the wild card, sixth place.
Oh, I know. I had these guys, or I had Savachi one off the wild card again. It
Really?
killed me, so.
See, I saw Wilson. He qualified first. I was like, all right, he's a fast qualifier, but the dude, still doesn't get starts.
Yep.
And if you're that fast, I don't care. If you don't get a good start, you're not going to end up, near the podium. So I put him in sixth, and it paid off for me.
I'm glad you did for the team.
For us.
That's
all
right.
Now, for highlights, what do you got?
I mean, we got to talk about Marvin.
Jump the red flag?
Yep, getting the whole shot, taking the lead. He's led every lap last 2 rounds. I mean,
yeah.
But yeah, jumps the red flag, all the drama. Took it an hour or whatever to decide. They penalized him the points and the purse, but not the position. So I don't understand.
Which was a rule that they actually did make last year.
I understand it's
I just
a rule.
know a lot of people didn't know about the rule change.
I just think even if it's a rule, it doesn't make sense to me. If you're penalizing the points and purse, what's the difference of moving the position as well? I think people who aren't mad about it are the ones that benefited in fantasy. Changed my mind.
Yeah, I'm probably one of them. I don't know. What do you guys think about the penalty? You guys like the call? But in any case, Marv said he didn't see it.
I don't know if I buy that.
I don't know if I buy it because he jumped through and he doubled through instead of tripling. So as soon as he jumped, I think he realized it, but kept jumping. And then if you watch him go around, he looked over at the red cross flag, what looks like to me 2 more times. Jumping through the rhythm section, and then when he went over the double or the triple, whatever it was, he looked back over. So he knew he messed up.
I don't hate Marv. It's nothing against him. I'm just saying he didn't see that red flag, just like he didn't pull over for Dungy last year, maybe. Or the year before.
Well, anyway, but other than that, it was good racing. Some other highlights, obviously Chad Reed unfortunately went down.
Yeah, big crash.
Got injured pretty good. And then Justin Brayton hitting the trampoline off someone's back tire, getting skyrocketed.
I want to know the science behind that. Like, how did that much force? I don't know what happened there. That was weird. But
all right, well, how'd stats go for the week?
Stats were actually really good. We had an average score of 33.5 points, the second highest this year. 13.5% got the wild card correct, second highest this year. But the top picks for the wild card definitely. Savachi was 23%, Wilson was 19%, like I said, and Barsha was 15, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Barsha, man. He was just rolling around, 16th place or something?
Something had to happen. If you guys know, let's hear it. I don't know what the heck was going on there.
We did have 31 perfect scores. So that's the most since round 14.
Of last year.
And then 57% had at least one pick correct. So it was a good week for points.
And then the top picks for first place. I mean, that was interesting to me. Tomac was picked to win by 42%. Webb was 23%. Musquin was 21 and Roxon was 9. So
still, people had that Tomac fever. I finally feel like I've gotten over it, and I don't feel bad about not putting him in first place.
Well, then you need to tell me your secret because I keep
doing it. Yep. But let's talk about injuries real quick. Justin Brayton probably going to be out.
Yep.
Chad Reed obviously is out. Your boy Cole Martinez, Aaron Plessinger, Vince Freese, Jason Anderson, Malcolm Stewart, Benny Blas. And questionable is Kyle Chisholm. I haven't heard about him.
He was involved in their little crash. He finished the race, but I heard he might be a little banged up. So.
There it is. That is the results. Those are stats. Now, let's get into it. Triple Crown.
Heading to Houston.
Let's talk about the track. Here it is, track trends. All right, Christian, for track trends this week, we are headed to Houston, which was actually round 2 last year on the schedule.
And not a Triple Crown. So.
Not a Triple Crown. But if we go back to last year's results real quick. So last year, Tomac and Musquin did not race. And Barsha and Seeley had a gnarly battle in that whole thing. Anderson and Roxon had a good battle.
Yep.
Anderson's obviously not there. But if you look at the track last year, it ruts up pretty bad. The whoops break down, so guys are just goat trail right through the middle of them.
There's barely anything left of them. So.
But if you look at the track this year, it is a football stadium. It's indoors, so you don't have to worry about weather. So a lot more 180 bowl turns, which is nice. And then
little sand section in there, we'll see.
Yeah, little sand section. Start straight is not going to be very big on this, so again, you got to be looking at those guys that have better start averages, especially with the Triple Crown rounds.
Oh, yeah.
And then, wall jump into a sand section, so plenty of dudes getting sandblasted there. Mm-hmm. But other than that, what do you think about it?
It just looked really similar to Houston last year, so.
Yeah.
Which it makes it kind of tough just because Tomac and Musquin weren't there, but I don't think we have too much to worry about with them.
All right, well, that is the track. What do you guys out there think? Do you like the layout? I hope there's more rhythm options so guys aren't all doing the exact same thing.
Yeah,
that's all nice. I hope. But here, let's get right into it. Triple Crown round, which means stats are going to be crucial because some riders who do well in the standard rounds, not the same story when it comes to Triple Crown. So let's get right into it. This is our top contenders.
Triple Crown, Houston, 3 main events, shorter main events, and then
third and final one of the year.
Yep.
Okay.
So a lot to cover here. Right now we have the top ranked riders by average finish in the 6 main events at Triple Crowns this year so far.
Okay.
The thing to know is these 4 way up there.
Cooper Webb, Eli Tomac, Marvin Musquin, Ken Roczen. So these top 4 riders, when you look at their average finishes, Webb's 2.3, Tomac 2.8, Musquin is average 4, and then Roczen 4.5. But when you go from Roczen to Seeley,
it jumps.
You see a pretty big jump there. So give us those stats.
So once you come back to Seeley, it goes from 4.5 on Roczen to 8.3 at Seeley.
Okay.
8.5 Savachi, 8.7 Barsha, and 8.8 Wilson. So these guys are really close.
Yeah, but you know what's, just want to point this out, a stat that to me really stands out, you don't see Blake Baggett on the table.
Anywhere.
There's 8 riders up here. He's not even in the top 8 for average finish, so definitely something that you're going to want to consider this week.
Yeah,
but
it's not one thing we can put our finger on. It's just something always happens. He doesn't tend to do well.
The stats don't lie.
Yeah,
but we're going to focus on the top 4 here. So Webb, Tomac, Musquin, and Roczen, because those are going to be the hardest picks as to what order you put them in. So let's talk about it. So Cooper Webb, he has 14 points ahead in the championship. Does he play it safe? Does he keep going for it? But the man, I feel at Triple Crowns, I don't see why he wouldn't be one of your top first place contenders right now.
I don't either. I mean,
he has the best average start of 2.5.
Yep.
And finish of 2.3. So the man's crushing it on both.
Mm-hmm.
But his starts and finishes have gotten progressively worse.
So is he being conservative or is something going on? I'm leaning he's just being conservative. So
okay, yeah, his last 4 starts are 1, 4, 5, and 7. But he still has by far the most laps led of 88, and he has 5 wins.
And his finishes have been going down too. From his win, he's gone 1, 2, 3, 4, so he's going to spot back. Roczen did it earlier this year and seemed to bounce back. See why Webb can't do it.
Some guys think he's in a funk. I don't. I think he realizes I got to start winning these things. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him up there. Let's talk about Tomac.
Eli Tomac.
Yes, the man. His Triple Crowns, he shines. Doesn't do as well in the standard rounds this year, but he has the 6th best average start of 7 and 2nd best averaging finish of 2.8 at Triple Crowns.
Yes, you think a shorter race, he might not be able to do as much. No, he still does it. He's the only rider, I think, in Triple Crown history, this year and last year, to come back from 11th to win a main event, which was out of this world. So
yeah, and he's taken first overall in 3 out of the 5 Triple Crowns going back from last year. Mm-hmm. So the man's had really good success there. For whatever reason, he just shines.
Yep.
And see what else here. Finished first. Oh, wait. Houston was the only round he missed last year. So, like I said, it's kind of hard to give a stat on that. Mm-hmm. But he also, here's what's funny, he finished exactly where he's qualified the last 2 rounds.
Yeah, there's a lot of riders I saw that did that. So they're sticking close to that. He hasn't taken the same spot 2 weeks in a row this season. He's the only rider to start worse than 10th, like I said, and still win a main. And he's finished first in 3 of the 6 Triple Crown main events this year.
Yeah, but the only thing that worries me about Tomac is you got the average start of 7th, and the Triple Crown where starts are crucial because you have the shorter main events. That's the only thing that concerns me. All right, let's jump to Musquin here.
Oh, man, I can't get over the pull penalty deal. But anyways, he has the 2nd best average start of 5.8, 3rd best average finish of 4 at Triple Crowns this year. He's never won 3 450 overalls in a row. This is, he won 2nd in a row last week.
Got a lot of seconds in a row.
Yeah, the last rider to win 3 rounds in a row was Tomac in 2017 when he won 5 in a row.
So chance he won 5. So the chance of Musquin winning 3 in a row, but
it's not very common.
Doesn't seem very common. It's not very common, but dude, the man's on a roll right now.
Yeah.
His starts are dialed, his finish is good, but his last 4 starts 2, 3, 1, 1. Mm-hmm. His last 4 finishes 3, 3, 1, 1.
Yeah.
And he's qualified first in the 2 rounds this year.
But the 2 rounds he qualified first, he didn't win.
He didn't win those rounds.
So be careful of that. He's led every lap the last 2 rounds. He finished third in round 13 in 2018 and 17. So he might be going back to his happy place of third. I don't know.
All right, and the fourth and final rider we're going to talk about, Mr. Ken Roczen, who had a much better showing last weekend, getting second. Yeah. I thought he was going to catch him past Marv. For fantasy's sake, I'm glad he didn't, but I would have liked to have seen it for my own.
It's that fantasy life.
Satisfaction.
Yeah. It is. He bounced back. I think I moved him up to third or something like that last week. I had a feeling.
Roczen is tied for the third best average start of 6.3 and average finish. He has the fourth best, 4.5 at Triple Crowns this season. He's finished fourth overall at both Triple Crowns this year. So far he hasn't landed on the box at a Triple Crown. What do you think? Is he going to improve that this weekend?
I think he has to, and it looked like he was feeling good. He's definitely going to be motivated after last week. So.
All right.
Took second overall last week, took second overall in Houston in 2018, exactly where he qualified for that round. And he's finished exactly 2 spots ahead of where he's qualified the last 2 rounds. So.
All right. Interesting.
The question is his championship done?
Yeah,
I'm going to 23 points back.
You got 2 other dudes ahead of him, Tomac and Muscan, who are both ahead in points.
You're saying it's done.
I don't know. What do you guys think? If you're listening, if you're watching, do you think Tomac and Roczen are out of this and it's just a battle of the oranges between Marvin Muscan and Cooper Webb? That's what I'm curious. Now, the big thing here with Joey Savacci, you got him in 5th, but I think for the 5th place position this year, you're going to want to listen to spoilers because I think one of your weekly spoilers is definitely going to be one you want to consider for that top 5 because you have that big gap from Ken Roczen to Cole Seeley. So let's get right into it. This is weekly spoilers. All right, so for weekly spoilers, this is going to be crucial because these spoilers, one of these guys is going to probably be your pick for that 5th and final position.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be for me for sure. So.
Now, before we jump into this, just real quick, you guys, do not forget, we also have this in podcast form on all the major platforms. And stick around, because remember, like I said, Millsaps coming on later, and we have a discount offer code coming up at the end of the show. Weekly spoilers on the table. We have Joey Savacci, Blake Baggett, Dean Wilson, Justin Barcia, and Zach Osborne. Don't know what happened with Barcia. Still trying to figure that out.
Yeah, we'll get it, though.
But here we go. So, Joey Savacci. Let's take a look at this man right here. He is tied for the 3rd best average start of 6.3. His starts have been pretty good this year and has a 6th best average finish of 8.5 at Triple Crowns this year.
So he's not bad.
He's not bad. He's right there on the cusp. And then we get to Blake Baggett. Remember, this is the rider that we've seen crack the top 5 multiple times this year. He has a win, but for whatever reason, does not shine or hasn't when it comes to Triple Crowns. So if you look at his overall 5 Triple Crown results from last year going to this year, his finishes are 5, 15, 8, 7, 7. So he's only cracked the top 5 one time. But if you look at his average start for 2019 and finish in standard rounds, his average start is 5.8. His average finish is 6.5.
And then both of those go down in Triple Crowns.
Yeah, he just doesn't back it up in the Triple Crown. It's kind of weird. All right. Hit us up. We got Dino here.
Dean Wilson, he has the 5th best average start in Triple Crown gate drops this season, the 6.8. He took 5th at the A2 Triple Crown this year, even though he didn't finish better than 7th in any of the mains. So he kind of got helped out.
Interesting.
But he's consistent in there.
So he did not finish better than 5th in any of the 3 mains.
He didn't finish better than 7th.
5th overall. Wow.
And he got 5th overall, yep.
All right. So don't let the stats fool you on that one.
And the weirdest thing for me, I don't know what it means, we got to bring it up. Dean Wilson in Detroit at the Triple Crown. As the main events went, 1, 2, 3, his starts got better every main event, but his result got worse.
Really?
Yeah, so I have no idea what that means or what happened, but I don't think you could do that if you tried.
Yeah, so his average starts and stuff just haven't looked very good.
He has finished exactly 5 spots behind where he's qualified in 3 of the last 4 rounds. So he's qualifying good.
Man.
Yeah,
got to get the starts.
Put him back a little bit. Barcia, if we can figure out what's going on and there's nothing wrong with him, could be a solid pick. I mean, Triple Crowns don't really change his results. He stays pretty consistent. His average start and finish at Triple Crowns this year is start 7.2, finish 8.7. He took 7th overall at the last Triple Crown in Detroit, but he hasn't finished in the top 5 overall when qualifying better than 9th this year. So he kind of throws everybody off. If he's good, he doesn't make it.
2 weeks ago, and then last weekend, total mystery.
Yeah, we got to see what's going on
Zach
with him.
Osborne, 5th and final. Man, takes the whole shot. Rides good, but he admitted that the intensity, he just wasn't ready for it because he actually faded back to 8th place.
I mean, his last 3 starts, though, 2, 7, 6. If he puts those starts together in a Triple Crown, he could easily be in the top 5. So
all right, I like it. So there it is. Those are the weekly spoilers. Again, one of these is going to be your top 5 spot, most likely. So go off of qualifying, look to see where these guys are, and kind of match that with the stats we just gave, and that's going to be a good indicator of who might land in that spot.
I feel good about it.
All right, now, wild card this week. What do we got?
11th place.
11th place, and we got some good stats to help you out. So here it is, the wild card watch.
All right, 11th place this week, wild card. I'm still trying to get it, first time in years, which I have to give a shout out to my daughter. She's 6 years old. She makes her picks every week on paper. We finally set her up with an underage account on there to play. The race ends, I go look, I have one pick right. She got 4 right, including the wild card, Dean Wilson. She was pumped. I'm taking advice from her this week, I think.
All right, that's that child intuition.
Dude, she killed it. So
I like it. All right.
All right, well, let's get into wild card. We kind of moved these 3 guys up. Cole Silly's in that range. We moved these guys up with Brayton and Reed out. They're going to have less competition. You know, it's not guaranteeing 2 spots.
So we got Seeley, Hill, Bowers, and Bogle all right here.
Yep.
Start with Seeley.
Seeley. He's placed 10th twice, 11th twice, and 12th once this season, and his average finish on the year is 10.09. So if he doesn't get off the gate clean or something happens,
all right,
I could see him around there. Justin Hill.
Justin Hill has placed 11th 3 times this year and 12th twice. That's all gate drops combined, all triple crowns. So statistically, he's looking good. His average finish of the year is 12.3.
Puts him right in there with Reed and Brayton now.
Okay, what about Bowers?
Tyler Bowers, he's placed 10th this season. Average finish of 2019 is 13.8.
He's placed 10th twice this season.
His same average finish on the East and West Coast, so the coast don't really affect him.
He's probably one of the most consistent dudes as far as where he's been finishing this year.
I feel good about him too.
And he placed 10th last weekend.
Yep. So Justin Bogle, he's got the wild card twice this year already. What do we have?
He's taken the wild card twice this year, so if you're looking for a champ, now that Chad Reed is out, we need a new champion to crown.
People are like running in the streets. They don't know who to pick.
Could be Justin Bogle. He's played 10th once and 11th once this season. His average finish for the year is 14, but he just placed 11th last week in Seattle.
Yeah, after everybody crashed out, so he was
But now that Reed's out of there and Brayton, like I said, some of these guys like Bogle and Seeley, I see those guys kind of staying where they're at, but Hill and Bowers might move up a spot because of those guys. So
I agree.
Kind of hard to pick, but those are 4 good choices for the wild card going off of stats. Who do you guys have? Who are you feeling good about this week?
I'm liking Justin Hill for some reason, but
you are?
That might curse him. I don't know.
Dude, I'm feeling actually Bogle, but we'll talk about this a little bit more when we lock him down. All right, so that is the wild card picks, but now let's get right into it because Davi Millsaps. He rode for the Rocky Mountain ATV KTM WPS team.
Friend of the family.
Friend of the family. We've met the guy several times. Super good guy. But let's get him on the phone. This is Between Two Berms with Davi Millsaps. All right, so we got him on the phone. Between Two Berms with Davi Millsaps. What's up, Davey?
What's up, man?
Hey, not much. Just talking fantasy over here. Well, thanks for calling in. We appreciate taking the time to do it. I know a lot of people out there have probably been wondering what you've been up to. You just recently did an interview with Racer X, so give us a little bit. What have you been up to? What are your plans for the future?
You know, man, it's the kids and the family have pretty much consumed a lot of my time now, especially with Dane with his BMX racing, and he's also racing works now. I lost a bet to him and had to buy him a dirt bike, so now we're in the works. So,
double time.
I'm double whammy. Like literally last weekend, we did a works practice, BMX Gold Cup qualifier, drove back for another works race on Sunday, and then drove back on Sunday afternoon for BMX state qualifier, and then drove home.
And now you're in North Carolina.
Now I'm in North Carolina.
For another BMX race.
For another BMX National this weekend. Yeah, it's been busy, but you know, I run the track out there in Lake Havasu City BMX. I'm the president of the board, and there's 7 of us there, plus the track operator, and then you know, just hanging out and enjoying family life for a little change. You know, since it's been 15 years since I was racing, so might as well enjoy it while I can, and then you know, figure it out from there.
Absolutely.
I like it.
Now, as far as the future goes for you, have you given it much thought? Is there, you know, something in the industry that you'd want to pursue, or, you know, what do you have planned for the future?
I mean, yeah, I think it'd be fun to work with the kid, or anybody really in Supercross or motocross, whatever, just to, you know, help them out and as much as I can, and or even be part of the team. But it's just tough being in Havasu to do anything like that. You know, the industry isn't quite there.
Right.
So for me, it would have to be, I'd have to almost move back to California or something like that in order to do anything like that. But at this point, you know, it'd be cool to just drive out for a few days a week and help a kid out to get better, and then drive back home.
I'm just saying, team manager Davi Millsaps.
Team
Sounds
manager.
good. Just
I like
calling
it.
the shots.
Well, so Davey, I'm kind of curious, and I know there's a lot of amateur riders that are coming up through the ranks and you know, have the dream of doing what you did for a really long time, which is racing professional motocross and supercross. You did it for how many years?
15.
15 years
a long
at the
time.
highest level. So I would be curious to know, what advice would you give to an amateur rider who's, you know, coming up through the ranks, who wants to make it? That's the dream. So what is something that you wish somebody would have told you being in that same situation?
I mean, the thing is, I think there's a lot of people who actually told me. The advice that I would recommend is just, you know, everyone's going to come around you. If you're doing good in amateurs and you go into the pros, you know, they're going to latch on to you. They're latching on to you for that reason and that reason only, because you're doing good. Now, to decipher those people is what's going to make the difference and what the outcome is for the future, because the right people will lead you in the right direction and help you make the right choices, versus just being there as, you know, I'm cool because I'm hanging out with someone who's winning. And for me, it's just, you know, being around the right people.
Mm-hmm.
Right. No, because I think it's a guarantee. You're going to have highs and lows, obviously,
always.
in any career.
Yeah.
So I like that.
You're going to have highs and lows. Yeah, you know, you got to stay focused. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of things in my career that would have been a lot different if I would have had more so the right people in my corner. There's things that if you could listen instead of putting up, you know, your ego wall, you know, thinking, oh, I've got it anyway, I'm good, I don't, you know, don't worry about that. If you can put it down and listen to what they have to say, then you can, you know, I feel like there's a lot more that can go good.
Right on. That's really good advice.
That's raw, good info. I like that.
Cool. All right, Christian. Christian's got some questions now about fantasy here.
Yeah, getting back to the meat and potatoes here. We're heading into Houston, another Triple Crown round. The points are as close as they've ever been this late in the season. It's hard for players to pick their top fives. What do you think about the season so far? Who do you have, you know, in your podium this weekend?
You know, I think the season's been very interesting. You know, you have everyone going crazy. The red plates changed so many times. You know, I don't think anyone was expecting Cooper to come out as strong as he did.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know, and that just shows you that he was dedicated and he found the right structure for him. So, and it's working for him. You can't argue that fact.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as everything else, I mean, everyone else is riding really good. But
did you expect more out of Tomac at this point?
Tomac's strong. He always is strong. He's when he wants to, you know, he's just almost unbeatable when he wants to be. So he just has to figure out what triggers that. But as far as top five, I mean, you got Kenny, you got Cooper, you got Tomac.
We'll make it easier for you.
Marvin,
Give us
you got Baggett.
Give us your podium this weekend. Who would round out your podium?
Houston, Triple Crown. Jeez. I'm gonna go, honestly, like, there's no dig to anybody, but I'm gonna go with just podium in any order would be Kenny, Cooper, and Baggett.
Wow.
Interesting.
I like it. Yeah, don't feel bad. It's fantasy. It's not personal.
It's nothing personal.
And those three kids can sprint.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So, and then Baggett has been shown it this year that he can sprint.
Yep.
So, and you know, when he's feeling good and you know, he's not dealing with any ailments from whatever it may be, you know, he's on it. He can run with those guys. So it's just, you know, I feel like that could be the three for the Houston.
All right. I like it. Mixing it up a little bit.
I do too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Davey, hey, man, thank you so much for calling in. We appreciate you taking the time to do that. It's cool to hear what you've been up to, what your plans are. And if you amateur riders are listening or watching this show, listen to what he said.
Yeah.
You're not going to get better advice
Look
than
up
that.
some Davi Millsaps highlights.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, by the way, I just got to throw this out there.
My career would have been way different if I would have done it. I promise you that.
Hey, real quick, I just thought of this. Salt Lake City, your last year racing, Justin Bogle cross jumps across the finish line. What goes through your head? What goes through your head?
How often do you think about that?
Vogel and I talked about that for a long time afterwards. I had it on film because I was wearing my GoPro.
Yeah, it's the sketchiest thing I've ever seen.
And he almost killed Freezy.
Yeah, it's only funny because no one got hurt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
and I froze. When I was in the air, I froze because I was expecting him to hit freeze. And if he was hitting freeze, I was landing
On
right
them.
where they were at.
Oh,
So I'm just like, I puckered up and I'm just like, oh, please just pass him. Please just go. Please just go. But no, that one made me pucker up for sure, you know.
well, we asked
Not gonna
Justin
lie.
about it when he called in this year, and he's like, well, the worst part is after it happened, he didn't know how to get back on the track, so he just rode around for a minute and then
He didn't
decided
know where
to
to
pull
go.
on.
I saw him ride around and just sit there with his hand on his bars, and I'm like,
He had to
I'm
gather
like,
himself.
Yo, it's not, yeah, we've all done it. You know, we've all cross jumped. You know, maybe not as bad as you just did, but we've all done it. You know,
No
it's all
shame.
fun and
If
games, you know,
I was
it's all
him,
fun.
I just hang it up and just go back to the pits and be like, you know what, it's been a good night.
No, you gotta just ride it out. Just
Yeah.
ride it out.
Yeah.
All right, Dave. Well,
Stress.
hey, man, thanks so much for calling in. We appreciate it. Good luck this weekend with you and your boy Dane. Hopefully
Yep.
does well. And Christian and I will be down in Vegas, so we'll be sure to say hi.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see you back in Salt Lake if they ever come back
I
too.
might be in the BMX National that weekend, but maybe.
Oh, the dad life.
Yeah, man.
All right,
Yeah,
man. Well,
that's for
have
sure. All right,
have
guys,
fun
thank
out
you.
there. All right, we'll see ya.
See ya.
I miss that guy around.
That was one of the
good
best
stuff.
ones. Yeah, I remember Bogle. I was like, oh yeah, Davey was the one in the air. Like I gotta know what was going through his head.
Yep.
Well, there you heard it. That's Davi Millsaps' his podium. A little bit different. Roxon,
He's bumping Bag It Up if it happens.
Bumping
You know
Bag
who
It Up,
called it.
so Baggett, Roxon,
Roxon.
and Muscan, but no Webb. No, he went Roxon, Webb, Baggett.
Yeah.
No Muscan, no Tomac. So
We'll see
we'll
what
see how it
happens.
goes. But there it is. Now let's get right into it because you know what time it is.
It's time to lock him in.
Let's do it. All right, Christian, before we lock them down, let's have a chat.
I know.
It's you and I versus Jim and Daniel from Race Day Live.
Yep.
Right now we have, what, a 38-point lead?
It's been a lot higher.
It's been higher. We bled out a little bit, but then we gained some points back last weekend. But here's what I propose. Let's double down.
You want to go all or nothing?
Team tactics.
Gap them right now.
We could either go big or go home. So this weekend, I say we both do the exact same picks, and if we have a good week, we just catapult into the lead.
I just say if we're not trying to win, what are we doing here?
All right,
I mean,
so-
let's get risky.
First, for your picks, you had Webb, Muscan, Roxon, Savachi, Tomac. I had Muscan, Webb, Tomac, Roxon, Savachi. Let's chat about this for a quick second. You guys out there watching or listening, help us out here. Let's do this. We have to come up with the same picks.
I know.
Our egos have to be put
mean,
aside.
I don't want to be playing it safe. Let's go for that
Look,
win.
I think Marvin Muscan and Cooper Webb, those are the top two picks for first place. Real quickly, Webb has the better average start and finish.
he can feel him creeping up on his points lead. He's got to do
Let's
something
let
about
our
it.
stats do the talking.
Yep.
Cooper Webb, you feel good about him in first?
I like him in first. Yep.
Okay, you had Tomac way back in 5th place. What about Marv, though? I think he's on a roll. I think his average start, finish is better. He's riding good.
I had him second. You had him first.
Okay, so second
put
place
him in
makes
second,
sense.
yep.
Now, you had Tomac way back there in 5th ahead of Roxon and Savachi. I don't feel good about that.
I just worry
But-
about his starts, but he's a beast in the Triple Crowns.
He
we
is
all
a
know
beast in
this.
Triple Crowns. But do you put him ahead of Roxon is the question.
I would think actually at this point we probably should. Yeah.
Put him ahead of Roxon?
I think so. He's going to be angry.
And Roxon just statistically hasn't done as good in the Triple Crowns.
No, he's taking fourth. What is it? Both of the Triple
Okay,
Crowns.
so we got Tomac in 3rd, Roxon 4th, and then we're going to stick Savachi in 5th?
I like him.
Okay. Now let's talk about the wild card. We have 2 riders up here, Justin Hill, Tyler Bowers. Both of them are good picks. You liked Justin Hill. I liked Tyler Bowers. What do we do about it? Quick breaker pop. Rock, paper, scissors?
Every time I feel confident about a wild card pick, it's one off. You've
got
hit it a few
I've got it
times.
twice this year.
Yep. I don't know. I think the stats really do say it's Justin
Okay.
Hill territory, but
Well, let's-
Bowers.
Yeah, let's look at qualifying and see where they match up. And then if we need to, we can kind of adjust from there. But
like
for
that.
now, let's do Justin Hill.
You don't want to even include Bogle.
Eh.
All right.
I like Justin.
Okay, let's stick with Hill for now.
So Bowers is out.
And just put the medal to Jim and Daniel this
All right,
week.
there
Done.
it is. They're locked in. Those are our picks combined. We're both going to have the same picks. So Cooper Webb, Marvin Musquin, Tomac, Roxon, Savachi, Justin Hill for the wild card.
Well, something crazy happens, yep.
All right, well, there it is. They're locked in. Who do you guys have for this week? It's crunch time, getting towards the end of the season.
What are your strategies?
Yeah.
Like in the group,
Go
is
big or
anybody
go
out there
home.
in the top 100? I mean, what are you doing right now? Where are you
If
going?
you're playing group, you might want to just do the same thing.
I've seen some large groups out there. You know they
big or
got
go
some type
home.
of bets going on, so let's hear your strategy too.
Now let's go talk about it. This is why you want to be playing RMFantasy SX. Here it is, a surprise recap. All right, so for this week's prize recap, first, gotta give shout outs.
The loyal SXperts out there.
The loyal fans who watch every week. Tars Thomas, thank you for tuning in. You're always commenting.
Called Marv's win last week. Tars did.
He did.
Yeah, he might be the real SXpert
All
out
right,
there.
who else we got here? Moto Life, always good insight.
Does his own
Appreciate
videos, yep, too.
Yeah, does his own little video talking about it.
Still Shot Productions, saying that you were on meds after last week, and then you go ahead and pull like 67 points. So
No, dude, he was like 70 or something.
yeah, so you might owe you an apology on
Yeah.
that.
Rodrigo Salas, always commenting. Good stuff.
Yeah, like to
Thank
see
you,
what he
sir.
puts.
We like it. And who's this? Will Esposito?
Yep.
Kind of like a song.
He went-
Esposito.
He went and signed his girlfriend up last week or the week before, and she's already kicking his butt, which is usually the way it goes. So.
Yeah, it's usually how it happens. But what's our discount offer this week?
Offer code this week is SAVE10MORE. We'll get you an extra 10% off all casual T-shirts Friday and Saturday. Get hooked up. The
Get some of
spring
these
and
Rocky
summer's
Mountain
here.
shirts right here.
Yeah, what are you doing? Get in there and get yourself
Fit
some
nice, comfortable.
new fresh threads.
There you go.
But-
All right, so for weekly prizes this week, we got first place taking home a Bell Moto 9 Carbon Flex and Supercross 2, the video game. 2 sets of Pirelli MX32 mid to hard tires for second place. And then we got third place, Fly Evolution gear set, Pro Honda prize pack, Works Connections jumping in the mix. Fifth place, Torque One Control prize package. Seventh is some 7 gear, that's fitting, 7-7. Mo Tool getting in there, a Cherubies, Fox View goggles for 10th place, and then of course 90 Rocky Mountain ATVMC gift cards.
Still a lot up for
$10
grabs.
gift cards, yep.
Yep, and then for our day ones, the grand prizes heating up now. The top scorer this year is going to win a Race Prep KTM 450 SXF. Second place, Race Prep KTM 250 SXF. Then other prizes coming down like a Moab Red Rock Getaway, Monster Energy Cup Trip, Dunlop Brock Glover Legend Ride, Fly Racing Gear and Casual Package, Milestone Video Game Supercross 2 the Game Console and 4K TV, Motion Pro Tools, Tusk Impact Wheel Set, Oakley Goggles, and Sunglasses Package. So there's just a ton up for grabs.
Yeah, and what's cool too about those Race Prep KTMs is we bring the winners to Rocky Mountain and we do a super fun couple days.
Oh yeah, it's
Give away
eventful
the bikes.
for sure.
And if you want to watch a recap of one of those videos we've done, well, it's on our YouTube channel. You can watch it.
Yep.
But there it is. That is round 13 of RMFantasy SXperts. Remember, if you're watching, you can listen to the podcast. If you're listening to the podcast, you can watch it on YouTube where you see all the stats in the backdrop. You see the number plates up here. Also, check out the blog because if you
Even
like
more
the stats,
stats.
you get even more stats if you go to the blog and you can read those. Take a little bit more time to read those over and get your picks locked in and ready to rock and roll to score some big points.
Yep, make sure to join our group, RMFantasySX Rivals. Hit the calendar button, add it to your device. Don't be the rollover guy or girl, and that's pretty much it.
Ready to rock and roll.
go to
Well,
it.
I am Chase.
I'm Christian.
We'll see you next week.